I'm Michael Haynes. I live in this van right here, 1978 Ford Travelaire. She's pretty rough on gas, but luckily we got a mountain bike back there that gets me from A to B to save on the gas money. Let's take a look inside. This is the childhood cat, and this is my dog Scarlet. She's right there. We live in the van together. Come on in. We got Scar's food dish up here. Pro tip for that, raise the food up a little bit higher than the water, so when the water splashes around it doesn't go in the food and absolutely soak it. I keep this chair turned around permanently like that. One thing, it's safety for Scarlet. When I put on the brakes, her face goes into the back of the chair instead of the dash. I'm in school for traditional Chinese medicine acupuncture. So this up here is where I keep all my books. My school bag up here. This is the new addition for Scarlet, as she is her own woman. It is a GPS tracker, so now she can run away, but I'll always find her, which is really nice for my mental state. Over here, if you're gonna live in a van, I think it's mandatory you have an adventure hat. So there's the adventure hat. Also, you're gonna need a pair of slippers, because when you're sleeping in here, you're really gonna want that. Like when I first moved into it, it was super 1970s, so like it was like pink drapes, and had to do something about that. And this was turned the upside down, so I flipped it over so I could make a shelf out of it. Got my hammock here, crib board, and then more textbooks. The only non-academic book is The Alchemist, because it's just an absolutely amazing read. So if you've never read that, check it out. Over here I got my control board for my battery, my tanks, and my pump. Picture of my mom and my dad on his motorbike. And my dad passed away when I was 13, so have his necklace hanging out there. The water pump and water tank are under here, along with my shit hose, which we're not gonna touch because it's gross. Over here we have all my blankets and pillows. I take the blanket off and then it swivels and comes out. And then what you see here is I bought a 4x8 piece of styrofoam and some wallpaper, and yeah, made myself little brick walls. Over here we have the sink and the stove. I eat pretty healthy in here, mainly chicken and veg, cooked veg, always cooked veg. Pretty much a different assortment of that, coming from stir fries to quinoa stir fries, rice stir fries, ramen stir fries. They're really easy and convenient to do in the van. In the fridge, I'll always have some type of like chia pudding going on, or overnight soaked oats. Just really keep the health train up with that. Actually, last night I made some date jam, put some chia seeds and hemp hearts in there, and it actually was a kind of spur of the moment thing that turned into a really good thing. I had a fellow van friend paint this homemade mailbox for me. So yeah, it's a mailbox for the inside of the van, but really it's just a bunch of parking tickets. Yeah, more food over here, lots of olive oil. And here we got the spices. Not too many options, but salt and pepper is pretty much the go-to. And if you've never heard of nutritional yeast, you can put this shit on everything and it's really good. And it's healthy, so you don't have to feel bad about it. This is where I keep all my pots and pans. It's the water one. I have a furnace in here, but it kills my batteries pretty quick, so I put this upside down on my stove and heat that. But in Victoria it's not too bad, so I've only had to do that a few times. Magic bullet, super essential for living in a van. I have 3 batteries in total. There's one up front to start it, and then 2 in the back, which are charged while I drive it. And then I have a solar panel on top that gives that some extra juice when we're not moving. And then I just run, and I have an inverter in there that we can check out. and that's what powers the lights, and for the magic bullet, and the water pump, and the bathroom. Normally people say the bed is where the magic happens, but for me, the magic happens in here, this toilet. When I was 19 years old, I almost lost my life to ulcerative colitis, and so they removed my entire large intestine. So me not having a bathroom, living in a van would be pretty much impossible. So yeah, I go to the bathroom number 2 like 8 to 16 times a day, so this is where the magic happens. This used to be a shower and a bathtub, but I just go to the gym every morning and don't really need that, so I changed it into a hanging closet, hang all my shoes up here, have a wetsuit. I'd like to say I go surfing, but with my heavy school schedule, I haven't been surfing once since living here. And yeah, and here is also more storage, more books, my acupuncture stuff, lots of needles. Do a lot of hiking with the dog, so good old set of hikers. So I have a gray water tank and a black water tank. So for me, I can usually last about 3 weeks to a month with not having to dump them. I go to Fort Victoria RV Park to dump them. It's $10 to dump them. So I live in a van pretty much just to cut down on costs while I'm going to school. Yeah, I paid rent for a couple months after breaking up with the old lady last year, and it just wasn't really nice on the bank account. So I had a friend that was living in a van, and he was doing some contract work in Victoria for carpentry, and ended up having a few beers in his van one night. That was kind of the deciding factor. It was 2 weeks after that I bought this van, moved into it, and yeah, it's been great. Benefits for living in the van: Scarlet and I spend most of our time in the mountains, and with the heavy school load, I haven't been able to do very much adventuring. So living in the van has been kind of like a blessing in disguise for keeping that little bit of adventure going while getting through school and keeping me sane and that level. Some of the challenges, I was actually thinking about this the other day, and I haven't had too many challenges other than getting as of recently, a little bit of heat from the public not liking van people. But like personally myself, I haven't had one bad experience. I find if you are mobile, as we're on 4 wheels, so we're meant to be mobile, if you show up at a parking spot at dark and you leave early enough in the morning, you're never gonna get to talk to you from anybody. My mindset's all really been, I'm doing this to better myself in the future, so anything that has come up has been pretty minuscule in the big picture. So I kind of, I find a lot of people say I couldn't live van life, but in my opinion, it's well, change the context. Could you do it if your life depended on it? Obviously. So just change the context, and you'll be able to do anything. I don't know. I look at myself as I'm in school for traditional Chinese medicine acupuncture right now, and if you knew me growing up, you'd be kind of laughing to think that I'd be doing some type of holistic medicine. I was kind of a meathead playing hockey player growing up, and then I went into trades. I worked at a copper mine. I drove trains for a while. I've been up to the pipeline, and due to having health issues is what I've came to this school for, and it has been the best thing ever. So I would say just follow your heart, and it'll always work out. Honestly, I recommend it to anybody, even if it was for a weekend warrior type of lifestyle. I think you can learn a lot about yourself by challenging yourself to do something that maybe at first you don't think that you could do it, but if you put yourself in the situation, I think anybody can persevere in van life. Advice for getting into van life: I think you do learn a lot about yourself while living in a van, but I think at the same time you know yourself already. So getting into the van stuff, get yourself set up. You know the little things that are gonna really make you happy. If it's a photo or a little trinket, or hold on to those things and implement them into your van life, and it'll make your experience a lot better, quicker, I believe. What we're doing right now technically isn't legal. I don't think it's legal anywhere. So minimizing your footprint where you are, wherever you are, as much as you can is, I think, the best advice I can give. You're on 4 wheels, move. It's super easy. If you see 4 vans parked together, probably don't go park beside them, because it's just going to draw more heat to yourself. So I don't know, just for like the longevity of us being able to do this, I think, yeah, trying to respect other people, and it'll help us out in the long run. Only in the rainy season was the times that I faced challenges with the dog. I pretty much put her life above mine as far as giving her the exercise she needs. Most of the time I get a lot of questions of what's wrong with your Husky because she's so docile. But I spend a lot of time exercising her. So in the summertime, it's not too bad as far as I can give her normal walks, and then I can keep her on her long lead like she is right now, and she can just hang out in the grass, and that kind of like keeps her senses going. But when it's raining all day, every day, it's either she's walking or she's in the van. So she's getting her exercise, but she's being stuck in that van space kind of messes her up a little bit as far as keeping her super chill. So I wouldn't say my whole life has been about minimalism. I was that idiot with a big jacked up truck at one point. I had a lot of stupid things I bought. Then yeah, getting into the van, I first had a storage locker, and yeah, that was just kind of a silly way to spend money. So I ended up selling everything in the storage locker, and I've never really been attached to things ever, so it was like pretty easy to do it. But I even felt that much better once I sold everything. It was if you need another TV, you just go on Facebook Marketplace and get another cheap TV or an end table or whatever. All these things that you think you actually need, they're pretty minimal in the big picture. My personal philosophy on life: follow your heart. I think getting into this traditional Chinese medicine, acupuncture, it started with following my heart, and I think growing up I spent a lot of time doing things what I thought I was supposed to do. And yeah, since following my heart, I think I've just been ending up where I need to be. And don't get me wrong, following my heart has led to some pretty big heartache as well. But I think when you're following your heart and your intentions are in the right spot, you're never going to end up in a bad situation. You're going to learn a lot of stuff along the way, but you're going to end up exactly where you need to be. And if you'd like to follow Scar and I's journey through this van life experience, you can follow me at Walking Authentic on Instagram.
Hi, I'm Forrest.
I'm Emily.
And this is Ronnie, and we're all part of the Different Media team. So if you guys enjoyed that alternative dwelling episode you just watched, there's a playlist popping up now where you can continue watching. Or you can go to our second channel where we travel around in this 1989 Toyota motorhome that we restored. We have all sorts of videos detailing the build that we did, what our life is like living on the road. So go ahead and check that out in the description below.